Your final day in prison,
Boom.
what was that like?
Shit. That shit like yesterday to me. Didn't sleep for real. Didn't really tell a whole bunch of people that I was about to do it, so it was kind of like it was like, you feel like you about to get over, like, yeah, don't nobody would know. Y'all niggas, y'all in here plotting on these basketball games, nigga. I'm about to be out of here. Fuck is you talking about? It was real, like, it was surreal. I honestly didn't even get a chance to appreciate that shit, to be real with you. I still haven't, like, had that moment of, like, I'm out there, bitch. Like, it was just one step to the next. It was like, okay, when I got to do this, that, and the third, I was plotting on how I was going to maximize my time between getting from the prison to the halfway house. And in the process of that, I forgot to, like, sit back and just say, yes, I'm out this motherfucker. But I was real anxious. I remember leading up, so I was real anxious. I left in the morning, so I didn't have a whole bunch of time to be super anxious. My man Buki from ATL, he walked me out. Nobody else really even knew that I was leaving. Until they saw me, like, with my shit and leaving out, did they know I was leaving. That was great.
Why'd you keep it quiet?
Because you don't want that attention. Motherfuckers want favors from niggas that's going home. Motherfuckers expect this, they expect that. Like, they knew I was going home, but they didn't know when. I just wasn't telling nobody. I kept made it seem like it was like 2 months after that. Like, yeah, I got about 4. Nigga asked me when I had 4 months, I had 6 months. When I had 2 months, I had 4 months. You feel me? So, but they sometimes people conspire against you. Like, oh yeah, it's a bed coming open in 2 weeks, and because the nigga want a 2-man room, and because it's 3-man rooms. He said, I do want a 2-man room. I'm in the 2-man room. His bed will be open in 2 weeks. Basically, telling him I'll be going home in 2 weeks. So, it's just some bullshit.
How in advance did you know about your last day? When you knew it was your last day?
Shit, I knew a year before. I knew. I put my halfway house papers in a year prior. I got my date back. I knew for an entire year that I'd be coming home July 16th.
How much time do you have to do in a halfway house?
I did 6 months.
After the halfway house is done, that's it? You're not on papers or anything anymore?
I got 5 years of papers, man. Yeah, supervised release. Some bullshit.
If you violate in those 5 years, what happens?
I'm going back to prison.
For how much longer?
Up to 5 years.
Oh.
Depending on what the violation is. Sometimes even more. I might do 6. Depending on what the violation is. They got categories. The higher the category it is, the more time you can do. And sometimes you don't even squash your papers. You want to do the time and then get out and still be on papers.
Is that like walking on eggshells?
Not for me. I don't give a fuck. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not about to be like, oh yeah, let me not do this because fuck it. I'm not doing nothing crazy anyway. So I just live. My PO, she hollered at me when she needed to holler at me.
That first day out, was that emotional?
Didn't get a chance to be. Like, literally, it was all like a whirlwind for me. Like, the first night I got to sit back when I was sleeping somewhere different, it kind of hit me. Because I woke up and didn't know where the fuck I was at. And that threw me off. But, not really, not excessively emotional. It was like maybe 2 weeks after that when it finally, like, kind of hit me. Like, damn. Man, 2 weeks ago I was at goddamn Talladega. Like, shit. But not initially, no.
You said somebody had walked you out.
Yeah, my homie.
Does that mean that's the first person you saw in the free world?
No. He walked me out towards he walked me from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from like my unit in the jail to the R&D, the receiving and discharging.
Okay.
And yeah, it was my man, good dude. I had met while I was down there.
So who's the first person you actually saw in the free world?
It's my man Cardo. Shout out Cardo, man. Mercy Brothers. It's Cardo. He picked me up from the airport.
First thing you did on your day out, very first thing.
I went to Popeyes. Nah, I went to Chick-fil-A first, actually. That was my first time ever having Chick-fil-A on the plane. I call it, okay, so the way it is that when you leave in the prison, the actual inmate drives you to wherever you're going. They sent me to an airport because I was so far away from home. I was in Alabama. And the town driver drove me to the Birmingham airport. And before we got there, I went to a corner store, got a cell phone. And then I got to the airport. Everything was crazy to me, like just seeing regular people, because I'm still in the mindset like I'm locked the fuck up. I'm like, damn, like I'm not knowing how to interact with anybody. Like literally, like everything excuse me. Motherfuckers, like, if I get anywhere near somebody, I'm like on edge. Not because I think something, but I just don't want to disrespect them. So it's like you get on this tight ass airplane and it's like I'm walking and I'm talking to my man. I'm talking to my man who just got out before me like 2 years. I'm like, he hears me keep on saying, excuse me, to everybody. Like I'm bumping him, I'm like, excuse me. He's like, yo, they don't give a fuck about that. You don't have to tell them excuse me. And he thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. But, yeah.
When you eat a meal like Chick-fil-A, I mean, because you eating different food in prison, does that go right through your stomach?
Fuck you up. Nah, it didn't fuck me up. My stomach is actually real strong. I had a cast iron stomach, so I didn't have that problem with like getting used to like eating shit out here no more. I didn't have that problem. My stomach made the transition. It was smooth.
How soon before you had sex for the first time?
Like 7 weeks. Took me 7 weeks. I wasn't even focused. I ain't had shit. Yo, listen, I got out. Everything that I had was because of my brother and my family. Like I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a shirt. I didn't have anything. I was so fucked up. I was worried about that. Like, yo, I need to get stable. And I couldn't focus on like giving somebody daughter long strokes. I couldn't even think about it. I was just like, yo, if it happens, it happens. I did not chase it, and then it finally happened. Shout out to who broke that 7 week streak. She knows she is. So
you haven't had sex in 10 years?
10, whole 10 years.
And you wait another
7 weeks.
Almost 2 months.
Yeah, man, everybody, ain't nobody stay down. Had somebody stayed down and rolled that thing out, then I'd have had something to come home to and destroy it, but I ain't had that, so I had to be picky. I felt like it was like, this is your opportunity to do something great.
How hard or easy was it to adjust back into society, the free world?
I'm still adjusting. I ain't done adjusting, I'm still adjusting. It hasn't been hard, but it's definitely been something. It's like, I'd be lying if I said, no, ain't no adjustment. Hell yeah. It's my first time being like a responsible adult in my life. So, and it all happened fast. It's not like I had like time to be like, okay, let me practice. Nah, fuck no, ain't no practice. Everything is practice. Like everything is like real live game action. Even the practice ain't practice.
What'd you miss out on the most? I mean, you did have a daughter, so aside from that, technology-wise or just what was going on in the world, what did you miss out on the most? Or were you able to stay on top of everything?
See, cell phone, that's where the cell phone comes in. That's why I was telling you, like, I don't regret not, like, the cell phone. Like, it wasn't work the whole time, but having a cell phone kept me, like, hip to what was going on, kept me savvy on tech. Like, I knew how to use a phone. I didn't have that problem. Because when I first saw a phone in prison, when I first saw a smartphone, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't have a clue. So, if I missed out on the culture, just missing out, like, these things that, like, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, growing up with social media, I didn't grow up with social media. So it's certain shit that happens that people do, certain like beliefs that people have about what social media, what role it plays in their lives that I don't share because I didn't have a chance. I didn't grow up with it. So it's like, this is just something, it's a tool for me. Like literally, I don't really feel like it's something that I have to do. I don't share my entire life on there. I don't feel compelled to.
What about music?
Yeah, I stayed pretty on top of music for the most part. So it was like, I didn't really miss out on a lot. I missed out on music, like whole albums and shit like that. But I saw what direction the culture went in. So I saw what direction music went in. I got to witness that.
So I guess what shocked you the most after you got out?
Was how much shit stayed the same. Shit's changed a lot, but a lot of shit stayed the same with people. And it fucked me up that people would still be doing the exact same things they were doing after me being gone for 10 years. That fucked me up. Like, I'm still fucked up by that. How could you not be doing something different?
How long before the institutionalized feeling wore off?
Who says it was? Nah, I stopped spitting in the toilet about 6 months ago, so that was a victory. I still certain shit I just I can't get used to. I don't think that I'm ever gonna. I don't know if I'll ever get used to. But for the most part, I don't think about in terms of jail. I don't think like for a long time I was still expecting 4 o'clock count. I was still expecting lock-ins. Like, damn, I gotta hurry up and get back. I was still talking that way. Like, man, I gotta hurry up and get back to halfway before lock-in or lockdown. That's crazy. I don't really deal with that anymore. But certain shit, like people stepping on the back of my heels, that still irks the fuck. Like, that's still some jail. Like, you can't do that. Me saying excuse me for everything, I still do that to a degree.
And you've been out now for how long?
Year and a half.
Somebody watching this, getting out of federal prison, of course circumstances could be different for everybody and how long their length of time is, but any general do's or don'ts adjusting back into society?
Lower your expectations, first and foremost. All that shit, like we in jail, we out of the game, so we look at it and we looking like, it's just so much going, so it's gonna be easy, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, I got this plan. Now listen, lower your expectations. You'll be fine, but don't get out here thinking that you about to make $1 million legally your first week and you've never done it before. And just don't hold everybody to your standard. Everybody isn't looking at the world through your eyes. They don't have your perspective. They haven't been to prison. They didn't just do time like you did. So you can't expect them to look at the world through the eyes of someone who just came from prison. It just doesn't work like that. So, and and unfortunately, I think that you bear the burden of being able to give them the benefit of the doubt because you're coming from their abnormal circumstance, not them.
Good support system since you've been out?
Great one. I can't complain. Family has been there. A1, friends. I mean, what they call friends. I don't really believe in them, but good people around me, man. Good people around me. Solid people around me.
You stayed in shape, it seems like.
Yeah, a little bit. It's one of them life and death things.
What do you mean?
At any given time, you gotta be able to defend yourself for a lengthy period of time against multiple motherfuckers. And if you ain't in a condition, if you don't even have the basic conditioning to do it, how the fuck you gonna do it? Just sheer will. It don't work like that.
What would you change about the federal prison system if you could? Could be a variety of things, but what would be at the top of your list?
No rehabilitative efforts. Anything you get out of prison. Prison is two things, yo. Prison is literally a refinery or an asylum. Asylum being one that you're condemned to forever. A refinery being that you made a decision, a conscious decision that I'm not going to get the same shit out of life that I got prior to me coming to it. But these are all decisions that you consciously make yourself. It has nothing to do with the system itself. So there has to be like some type of effort made to actually, like they're not rehabilitated. Like anytime you hear like Department of Correct, there's no correction going on. There's warehousing. They're giving you enough food to keep your ass breathing so you can finish this sentence out. So you can spend money on their commissary so that they can collect the check off you. That's it. There's no actual rehabilitative measures being taken. They're taking away more schooling. Funding out here for school is bad. How the fuck you think gonna happen in a prison? Like you think that you can get better funding for education in prison than you are out here? You feel what I'm saying? So just actually trying to make rehabilitative efforts, whether it be outreach programs, whether it be whatever. That's the part that I would change. Trying to change people, give people options, more options for when they get out than, you know what I'm saying, grabbing a package and moving it.
You think this will ever change in your lifetime?
No. For the most part, no. It's anytime capitalism seeps into something, it's about money. Once it becomes about money, that's what it's about. People stand to gain from you being incarcerated. And once that happens, those people that stand to gain the most, they're gonna protect their interests by any means. So, and part of that job security, them getting that money, is you being in that place. And the only way that they can guarantee you in that place is by limiting the tools and the resources that you need in order to stay out. So they're not gonna help you to stay out of prison when it benefits them for you being in prison. That doesn't make sense.
People will say prison is like modern day slavery. Do you agree or disagree with that?
To a degree. Yeah, I mean, it's legal. That's the 13th Amendment. Anybody, that's what is legal. Once you're in prison, you are they legally can use you as a slave. Crazy as that may sound. Like, you literally can work and do crazy amounts of labor and not get compensated for it. Inmates run the entire jail. Like, if you go in, like, we're the ones that fix the lights, we're the ones that fix the toilets, we're the ones that paint it, we're the ones that do all that shit. So.
How soon before you hit the recording studio after you had been released?
Not even 10 days. I think it was like my 9th day out. I went out and recorded a song that was so out of touch. But it was a song nonetheless.
Were you nervous? Were you excited?
I was excited. I wasn't nervous at all. It was my first time like in a big studio. But,
ever?
Yeah, ever.
Oh.
Ever. But I wasn't nervous though. I was excited.
So you hit the recording studio before you had sex.
Facts. Dedication. Discipline.
As we mentioned before in a previous segment, when you had gone into jail, county jail for the first time, your daughter was born, like, what, 3 weeks in?
3 weeks in.
And you did 10 years. So how soon before you actually saw her in free society after you were released?
Physically, it took a while because I couldn't travel. I was in the halfway house. She's in Atlanta. I was in DC/Maryland. And first time I saw her in person, I had to actually travel down to Atlanta to see her. And so it was like a year, almost a whole year. Her mother wasn't cooperative. Shout out to you.